All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about a word you think you know inside and out. A word you see, you breathe, you clean up pretty much every week. Dust. But I'm willing to bet it has a secret life you've never even thought about.
So, what's the big deal? What could possibly be so special about it? What secret is hiding right there in plain sight in one of the most common words we use? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. First things first, let's start on familiar ground. When I say the word dust, what pops into your head? Probably not much, right? And honestly, that's kind of the point. It's simple. It's basic. The dictionary keeps it pretty straightforward. It's that thin powder, the stuff that settles on your bookshelves or floats around in a sunbeam. And notice it's an uncountable noun. That just means you don't have one dust or two dusts. You just have dust. We can all picture this, can't we? You walk into some old abandoned room, a beam of light cuts through the window, and you see all those little particles just dancing in the air. That's the very essence of dust. So far, so simple. But this is where it starts to get really interesting. Okay, time to pull back the curtain a little bit. We need to talk about this thing called the Basic English 850 list. So what is it? It's a really special list of 850 core words that were chosen because they're powerful enough to explain almost any complex idea. Think of it like a foundational toolkit for the entire English language. And here it is. Here's the secret. Our simple, kind of boring word, dust, is actually one of those 850 foundational words. It's not just some random word, it's a cornerstone of communication. And being on this list is what gives it this incredible hidden power. So let's look at this word again. But now we know it's a super word, a fundamental building block. As a noun, yeah, it represents a universal concept, that fine powder that covers everything if you let it. And this is where the genius of this word really shines. The noun, dust, describes the problem. You've got this powder all over a surface. But the verb, to dust, describes the solution, the action of removing that exact same powder. The word literally contains both the problem and its opposite. How cool is that? Let's really focus on that action for a second. When you use dust as a verb, you're not adding powder, you're taking it away. This dual-purpose design is exactly why it made the cut for that basic English list. You get maximum meaning with minimum words. It's just so efficient. It's like a perfect little story in 3 simple steps. You've got a problem, you perform an action that's named after the problem, and then the problem is solved. It's simple, it's elegant, and it's crystal clear. And here we see it out in the wild. Sally isn't throwing dust around her house, obviously. She's getting rid of it. She's performing the action of dedusting. It's one simple word with 2 powerful opposing meanings packed right inside. But the power doesn't stop there. Not even close. See, once you have a core word like dust, you can use it like a Lego brick to build a whole universe of brand new ideas. I mean, just look at all these compound nouns. It goes from something as simple as a dustbin for your trash to a terrifying dust bowl that can change entire landscapes, all the way to a beautiful poetic concept like stardust. Every single one of them uses our core word to paint a vivid new picture. And it just keeps going. We can describe a room as dusty. We can dream of the ideal dustless home. We can even dust off an old skill we haven't used in a while. The flexibility of this one little word is just amazing. So here's the bottom line. We started with one simple word for a thin powder. And from that single starting point, we get its opposite action and a whole family of related concepts, all without needing to memorize a ton of new, complicated words. And that, right there, is the big takeaway. The secret life of dust isn't really about the word itself, but about what it represents. The absolute genius of the basic English system. It's all about building a vast, rich, and nuanced way to communicate from a small, manageable, and incredibly powerful core. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? If a single, humble word like dust holds this much potential to build, describe, and explain our world, just imagine the full power of all 850 of those words working together. What else can they do? What other ideas can they unlock?